it seems like we're getting a lot of Joker today. We're getting a lot of Joker. I just finished talking about one Joker out there just barely 48 hours ago. All right. Got all that goddamn laughing at. Now, we're going to be talking about this Joker trailer, but DT merch is no laughing matter. We seriously depend on you buying this merch right here. We do depend on your support to keep these live streams going. I need to let everybody know once again, just because I'm doing this at home doesn't mean I can't tell you about us going abroad. Double Toasted is going international, spreading the toasty goodness all around the world, starting in lovely Canada, Toronto to be more specific. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 7. Where, Corey? At the Adelaide Hall. And when you get in there, it's going to be a whole night of comedy, games, and music. And the price of admission also gets you into our after party. You know, we would love to let everybody in there, but it's limited space. So we have to actually have people who paid for the show to be able to go to the after party, only to be fair. Is it really such a thing as too much Joker? DC doesn't think so. They hit you with this one right here, and they said, no, we ain't stopping right there. You know, now we're going to pull back a little bit. We shocked you with this one. Now we're going to give you something a little bit different. Maybe not as freaky as this, maybe not as horrendous and monstrous as this, but something you ain't never seen all the same. And I'm talking about the new Joker trailer that came out, the one that's been hyped up ever since we saw Joaquin Phoenix in that little creep-ass trailer where he was smiling that was really kind of a makeup test. Now, you've probably seen this already, and that's fine. Let's go ahead and take another look at Joker.
If you just smile.
Some of y'all are saying, like me, you say, you know, I I really don't need any more Joker in my life. It would be okay if I just took a break. And that's how I felt. After Jared Leto as the Joker, I felt like I needed a Joker hiatus. I mean, you know, and the thing is, you know, it's not like the Joker and I are breaking up. You know, we're just taking a break. We're just taking some time to see other clowns. It was a misfire by DC. I hate actually even like poking fun at this Jared Leto Joker because Jared Leto did the best he could with that. He really did. He was trying, say what you will about, you know, the like I said, the prison tattoos and what did they call him the other night? Hot Topic Joker, you know, or trap Joker, hip hop Joker, prison Joker, you know. Say what you will about the corny ass tattoos. Say what you will about the gangster grill and all that kind of stuff. My man really did try to do something different with it, but it didn't work. Cool out, take some time to think about it, and then come back in, I don't know, maybe about 10 years, and then we'll see where we are then. And it seemed like for a while, DC was trying to actually do too many Joker projects. Now, do y'all remember when they were talking about making not one, but two Joker projects at the same time? One of them was with Martin Scorsese. They said that he was going to be directing. Now, I do know that he's one of the producers behind this, if I'm correct. But they were mentioning that he was going to be he was going to direct a Joker movie. And of course, he was going to get his sugar boy right there, Leonardo DiCaprio, his new muse, to play the Joker. I just felt like, because they were talking about how it's going to be darker, it's going to be grittier, it's going to be dirtier, more violent, to the point where they had to make this rated R. And so I'm thinking at that time, I'm thinking not only you cashing in on the Joker a whole lot, but you're also trying to cash in on the latest rated R craze that's been going on over at Fox with Deadpool. DC, it ain't enough that you gotta be ripping off Marvel, trying to get the universe, but now you gotta be up all 20th Century Fox's ass by way of Marvel, trying to ride this rated R wave. And again, feeling phony as hell while you're doing it. But then I was Gotta say, I was a little interested. My interest perked when I saw that that right there, that makeup teaser that they did, which I don't know why. Maybe it's because they simplified it. Maybe because it wasn't an exaggerated form of the Joker, but it felt more real. That scared the shit out of me. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, get that other Joker out the way. That Martin Scorsese thing you got going on, get that shit on out the way. But this new thing, I'm interested in. One of the reasons people can't stop talking about it, and let's just go ahead and get this out the way right now. I don't want to deal with it later. I want to talk about it now, so I have to talk about it later on in this review. I'm sick of all the comparisons to your boy, my boy, Heath Ledger. Yes, I would say arguably, but I'm not going to argue with it. I'm going to tell you how it is. He is the best Joker of all time. I'm usually an adult about these things. I'm usually fair. I'm usually mature about it. They're like, no, you're not. But I'm going to tell you, it's a fact. Heath Ledger is the best Joker that we have ever had. So I get it when the comparisons happen. It's inevitable. You're not going to have another Joker come up. What Heath Ledger did for us fans of the Joker and Batman, and all the, even comic books, it's a curse and a gift that he gave us. The gift is his performance. But the curse is also that it was so good that from here on out, everything is going to be compared to Heath Ledger. It's hard not to compare with what they're doing. One of the things about Heath Ledger's Joker that made him so great is that he was a more realistic version to go along with Christopher Nolan's realistic version of Batman. He wasn't a guy who fell in a chemical vat. He wasn't a guy who fell into a chemical vat. He was a guy who, outside of scarring himself, he just put on makeup and dyed his hair, and he was, again, arguably insane. So it's not hard to compare when you see this movie and they're kind of doing the same thing. Heath Ledger is just, Joaquin Phoenix is just putting on makeup, dyeing his hair green. So it's very close to what you had with Heath Ledger. And I love how Joaquin Phoenix is so pale. He don't need to fall in some chemical water or chemical vat. His skin, do you see how white his skin is? Man, he looks dead. It's almost like the casting was just perfect with this. But one of the things I get the comparisons, but here's the deal. There is a right and a wrong way to do the comparisons. I don't mind the comparisons if you do it right, because there's a right and a wrong way to do it. Now, here's the wrong way to do it. First of all, have some respect. Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, they were friends. Why do you feel the need to actually keep trying to compare these guys who were friends at one time? One got dead, and y'all sitting up here arguing who's gonna be better, Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix? First of all, that's some goddamn disrespect for your ass right there. Like I said, one man is dead, and the two guys are friends. Why you trying to, from beyond the grave, trying to pit them against each other? For one thing, you haven't even seen this movie right here, so that's bullshit to even come up here and try to say who's going to be better now, because you haven't seen one movie, but that hasn't stopped people from trying to say who's the best Joker out there. Why can't something just stand on its own and be just as good, except being its own thing? And that is where I come into the right way to compare these things together. Because fortunately, one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of people, it's only these petty ass people online who always got to try to compete and pit people against each other. You know who you are. It's these messy ass people out here, little petty ass people. There's most people out there saying the way to compare these two performances is saying that they potentially, we haven't seen one movie yet, but potentially one of them just looks like it can be just as great as the other. You know, they don't have to be better than one. Looks like it can be just as good as the other. And that's what people are seeing with Joaquin Phoenix here. They're saying that Joaquin Phoenix doesn't need to be better. This guy's turning this into his own thing and might have a performance that is just as good as Heath Ledger's, just in his own way. Somehow, Joaquin Phoenix has managed to turn it into something of his own, and honestly, turn into something creepier than I've ever seen before. That laugh, man. You know, that laugh horrifies me. That laugh scares the shit out of me. I don't know if it's because he can't focus his eyes. I don't know if that's even a laugh. I can't tell if that's a laugh or a mating call. It's the way his eyes keep darting around. It's the way like he looked like he's unsure about what he's even laughing about. Like, I don't even know what the hell is funny myself. You know, that and just that noise. It's going to give me nightmares tonight, man. You know, we've seen this progression of the Joker being a killer but funny to being psychotically comedic to just now being just psychotic. Ain't nothing funny about it. Comedy ain't even in there no more. The way this movie looks to just be Joker. The Joker's all up there. They're playing Nat King Cole's Smile in there. I think that's his version of it. Smile. And they've just turned happiness into something that is scary as in this thing. You know, I'm looking at things in here like, everything in here that when they're smiling, it looks like it's forced. When they're smiling, it looks scary. Even when people look happy, there's a little bit of melancholy in that. Like looking at him in these scenes where he's dancing with his mother. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than the love between a mother and her child. But I'd be damned if this don't look creepy as right here. It could be, because it says like this man, he's living with his mom. His mom is probably the only one that understands him. He's probably got nobody else but his mother. And that's the thing that probably makes him the happiest, being around her. But I mean, that's sad. That's heartbreaking knowing that that's probably all he has. I got a question from Skull here. Skull, good question. He presents two characters and two actors that are in the movie. First, I think his name, now correct me if I'm wrong, Brian Tyrese Henry from Atlanta. I think he looks like a person that works. I'm gonna take a guess. He might be one of the people that is actually kind to him. One of the people that he is actually friendly to him. And this is when he noticed like, man, your ass is crazy. I don't know if we can be friends anymore. The other person is Zazie Beetz. And I think this is very easy to figure out. I think that she's somebody who also sees the good in him. She probably thinks he's kind of cute, but maybe in a friendly kind of way. Ain't nobody like that trying to get with somebody that look like that. Ain't no fine-ass girl trying to get with a ghoul. Unless she got like a zombie fetish or something. Nah, man, I ain't buying that. I think they might be friends, and he tries to like carry it to another level, and she has to tell him like, I don't like you that way. And he's, there was another blow in life. Another punch to the nuts. It could be where maybe she does like the guy. Maybe she does have a ghoul fetish. I don't know. And then somehow, he says something to just completely mess that up. Here's another prediction about Brian Tyrese Henry. If that's his name, I might be forgetting about that. We have Arkham State Hospital. And we see other things in here like he's going to Arkham State Hospital. Now he's wearing the same coat that he had in that last shot that we saw. Let me see here. So he goes to Arkham. Let me see. In fact, that's all together right there. Give me a second here. So he goes to Arkham, and you see him like taking an elevator. He's crazy guy next to him, and then you see Brian Tyrese Henry right there. My other prediction right here is that he is an orderly at the hospital. at Arkham. I didn't see all that together. He's an orderly at Arkham, and his mother has been placed there. Like the woman that he's been taking care of, the woman that the thing in his life that has kept him stable, the thing that he loved, his mother's love, keeping him stable. She gets committed. He goes there, and Brian Tyrese Henry's like, I don't know why you visiting. Your ass needs to be in here too. Oh, look at this. Baby Lotion Mob says where his mother dies. I didn't even think about that. That she would die in the hospital. That would really break him then. Yeah, very good. I love the way that that's conveyed in this trailer right here. I mean, I'm talking about creepiness in here. I mean, even right down to the physicality of Joaquin Phoenix in this. I don't know what he's doing. It looks like he's tying a shoe, but nobody ties a shoe like that. It looks like he's choking the shit out that shoe right now. Just listen to the sounds that are in this part right here.
Or is it getting crazier out there?
No one ties a shoe like that. You choke a human being to death like that, but you don't tie a shoe like that. He reminds me of, and y'all are probably thinking about this too. He reminds me of Christian Bale in The Machinist. Even though I don't think he lost that much weight to do this, but looks just as freaky. One of the things that you have to think about with the Joker, and think about this. And I know you're going to say one thing, and I'll bring it up in a little bit, but have we ever seen the Joker in a tragedy? And I know you're saying, now you're telling me right now, yes, we have. There's that whole that graphic novel out there, The Killing Joke, which is kind of this movie kind of has hints of this. It's really not the same, but there's hints of it in The Killing Joke. For those of you who read it and remember this, the Joker started out. It's an origin story, like a what if. We don't know what the Joker's origin really is, but here it's kind of a what if origin story. What if the Joker was a failed comedian who lost everything, had the worst day of his life, lost his family, he fails at his job or his ambitions of being a comedian and just can't take it anymore. Yeah, that is tragic. And that was up until recently, a lot of people considered that to be a great comic until this thing up. But this is the animated version of the graphic novel. Which, okay, so they did have a movie of this. They had a graphic novel. They had a movie. So you're saying, yeah, Corey. So we do have versions of the Joker that is tragic, but not on this scale right here. What this is going to bring to the Joker that I don't think anybody has done before is sympathy. How many times have you seen them do a version of the Joker where you truly were sympathetic for him? You laughed at him. You might have been scared or frightened by him, but you never really, how many times did you really sympathize saying, you know what? I get his crazy ass. I can understand. Now, I mean, I've never had that really. I've made speculations about things, but we've never had it like this. And the reason why, I think it's incredible here because, they really lay it on thick how sad this guy's life is, and how this guy probably is not that bad of a guy until we, society, pushed him. It's a guy who just, he loves his mom. Granted, maybe in a weird way, he's giving her baths and everything. But he loves her. He loves her. This is a guy who just wants to bring joy and happiness in the world. And what does he get in return? Get his ass beat down. get hit in the face with a piece of cardboard. Gets his ass beat on trains when people just to simply understand, maybe this man is mentally ill and needs our help. They're showing how society is failing this person, and we're probably being sympathetic about it. I mean, seriously, man, how can you not feel bad for a guy who gets beat up by a bunch of kids? With his own sign. Sign twirlers love going out there and twirling signs, man. They get paid shit to go out there and dress stupid. This man dancing his ass off. He's getting paid $5 an hour to look like a goddamn fool and almost about to get his ass hit in traffic. That was just the thing I noticed right there. I don't understand why that cardboard makes people so happy. Of course, when you get hit in the nuts, that doesn't, all that smile just goes away. That image right there, that breaks my heart, man. You can just see him on the ground like Nancy Kerrigan. Why? Why do people hate me? Maybe because you dress like a freak ass clown, but I love this whole idea of this man who was kind and gentle and being broken down by society. He's failed by society. That's where we bring in, the elements that they're talking about with the tone of the movie, which they say owes a lot to Martin Scorsese. It doesn't, definitely in the look of it. This is supposed to be set in 1980s Gotham. But if one of the things that I really like about this is that this actually looks like, and I love the look of this. This actually looks like 1970s New York right here. When you look at it, it definitely feels like a 70s film. Not only in the look of the film does it harken back to maybe a Martin Scorsese film, but it does it also in the tone of the character. The movie that this mainly is being compared to, and you've heard this already, is Taxi Driver.
Robert De Niro creates a terrifying portrait of life on the edge of madness.
When you see this, you don't realize, I saw this as a kid, you don't realize how frightening this movie is, because it's not really a horror film. This movie is it's almost like a character study, and also somewhat of a dramatic thriller. He's a social outcast who mentally breaks down to a point that he just mentally and physically just takes on this other persona, which we see with in this film here with the Joker. This guy's been such an outcast. This guy's been so hurt by society that, like Travis Bickle, he just mentally warps into something frightening and also physically transforms himself at the same time. That's not unlike at all the character of Travis Bickle that we see here, which to me, that's incredible that they decided to take this route, because it's almost like we're not even watching a comic book movie anymore. In a way, we are watching a dramatic thriller. You know that it's also taken from, again, not as much as I think Taxi Driver, but you can't deny that there are moments of King of Comedy in there.
Hupkins. Jerry, I love this guy. Always coming up with these great lines. I love him.
If this movie succeeds, they might outcreep Martin Scorsese's films, the great films that he's made. Speaking of King of Comedy, you do see an interesting reversal of roles, or one role at least. You see Robert De Niro, who in King of Comedy he was the struggling comedian, and Jerry Lewis was the host of a show that he was trying to get on. Here you see that Robert De Niro is actually the host of the show this time, with Joaquin Phoenix being in his previous role. Interesting nod they had right there like that. We're no longer watching a comic book movie, it feels like. And I say this in the best way. It feels like we are actually watching a character study and a thriller. And I love that, man. You finally stop trying to dick ride Marvel so much. And all y'all think I'm some Marvel bitch out here. I am. But DC, baby, I've never hated you. I've never hated you. I've always even believed in you. I just never said out loud. I always laughed at you openly. But deep down inside, I've always believed in you. And it's not just you. DC, I can't just put the blame on you. Because this whole thing, it's a trend, and I get it. Everybody wants that universe. And as we know, we've seen how that works out for some people. Yeah, I'm looking at you. But, it's not just, if y'all notice that, it's not just, this is what makes me worried about things like Godzilla and all that kind of stuff, where they're trying to make a, everybody's trying to force a universe. Like this thing, right? That's Universal, of course, we're talking about. That's probably the most infamous failure that we've had outside of DC. But, you know, I'm all for shared universes. I'm all for people trying things. But lately, when people have been trying to do mixed universes, they've just tried to ride a trend in cinema off of what's been successful. A lot of times, that has failed. And it's sad to see people, our studios, the companies, try to do what somebody else is doing. You know they have great properties and can make great things with them if they did their own thing. And that's what it feels like we're getting to when I look at this. That's why I'm so excited about this. And and another thing with this is that I think it's great that they are, listen, you know me, I don't think that darker or being rated R, bloodier, sexier, edgier, that doesn't mean anything. But with this, I think it's a great start. I don't think that always makes a great movie, but it has afforded them. They were so, for a while, they were so trying to get not into this universe thing like Marvel was doing, not only to copy them for their template and their business to just, cinematically do that, but it was for the marketing too. They created these, these colorful, heavy effects superhero movies because they want to sell stuff outside of that. When I see this right here, I see something that's being made rated R because at this point they do, and I love when people do this, not because, again, it's more violent. I like that we're getting into this is rated R because I think that it's an acknowledgement that, there are adult fans out there of these things, and and the stories don't need to be hampered down by execs who are trying to sell toys, who are trying to sell bed sheets, who are trying to put some character on a box of Pop-Tarts and sell it that way. I look at this and I feel like I'm watching a real movie. That's the biggest thing that scared me with the and still kind of worries me with the merger of Fox and Disney. Or not even a merger. They just bought their ass. I just snatched their ass up off the street. That's the thing that worries me about the Disney buying Fox. Fox didn't always have great superhero movies. I mean, we've seen the X-Men many a time. We've seen plenty of X-bombs out there. But when they did take a risk and they started making rated R things, it kind of worked out. Sometimes, I'm looking, Logan is great, man. And I think Logan is great, not because it's bloody, not because Logan gets to finally slice somebody up and you see their legs get chopped off or intestines come out. It's because they told a more mature story. I can deal with the fun, colorful superhero stuff, but it's nice to see them take something that we know already exists in comics or in graphic novels and apply that to film. So it's nice to see somebody that we never expected to do that, DC, pick up the mantle and proceed. That's why I'm hoping that this will be a success. And another reason, I appreciate them like going the darker route with this. And again, not just to be making it dark, but because it feels like it's somebody's vision. When I said that this didn't feel like a manufactured product, it's because this is the vision of a director who is not being hampered down as much by the studios, because they know who their target is. They have a little more freedom. Again, when I go in here and I look at things that were done and that movies that were made, and they're some of the best movies that we have out there. Think about it. Why is this Batman that we have right now at DC not working? Why is Fishman and Shazam, why is Aquadude more successful than Batman? And then why is this Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman, way more successful than the Batman that we have right now? Because it's not because we're even getting tired of Batman, because this was somebody's sole vision of Batman. It was somebody's unique vision of a hero that we've seen over and over again, and somehow they managed to take it and make something different with it. I'll even go as far as to argue that Zack Snyder. Everybody's mad at Zack Snyder. Why you running your mouth out here, man? You already fucked up Superman, Batman. Haven't you done enough? Just sit down and shut up. But I dare say, and y'all know how much I've talked about DC in the past, but I will come out and defend and say that for what it's worth, Man of Steel was his vision at the time. And it was a different vision of Superman than we've had before. You know, it was still Superman, but it definitely was Zack Snyder's Superman. That Superman was fine until the studios meddled in and started making Batman and Superman have a lover's quarrel, and that's when things felt forced. That's when they were trying to be Marvel. That's when things didn't feel original anymore. That's when they felt like they weren't unique. You know, going and taking this risk with this of making a more adult and a more realistic, and with all that, a more frightening Joker, I think it's something that is needed right now, because who would have thought we would have taken like something that's been like that's just been crammed down moviegoers' throats, the Joker, and just in entertainment in general, and they were still able to come in and do something different with it, because the director looks like his vision is all over this. It's not, you know, and it feels great also that they're, you know, speaking of Batman and Superman, well, I love those dudes, you know. Yeah, hey, nothing bad to say about you. Y'all still my boys. But it's nice to have this, and I think that's the biggest difference. It's nice to have this without the interference of superheroes. I think it's really cool to have this just on its own. Have those guys just chill out, you know. Y'all ain't been doing too well anyway, and let's just go ahead and do something like this, where superheroes don't have to come in, and it's still a comic book movie, but feels nothing like it. Refreshing is what I'm trying to say. This is, you know, I'm very, very excited for this. Now this might bomb. I know every time these things come out, I get excited. You try to break me down. You treat me, whenever I say something is good, and I say I talk about how I like a trailer. Whenever y'all see me with these Marvel movies and everything, whenever I come out and say that I really love something, y'all do this to me. Shut the fuck up. You know, y'all can't let me have nothing, man. but I realize, like, yeah, it might be bad. I get that. But at this moment, even if it is bad, if this is a total bomb, if I end up hating this movie, because it's so bad, one of the things that I can say about it, one of the things that I can come in and say is that, you know what, at least DC tried. At least they made an effort to do something different. If it fails, it will be a respectable failure. But let's not hope that. Let's hope that what we're seeing here is going to reflect that the movie's going to be very good, and I'm looking forward to it. It's not coming out until October, and I know it's a while away. I got the Avengers to hold me over. You know, I got Marvel to keep me company right now, but you know, I'm very much looking forward to October. I think this is going to be one of the biggest openings of October. They're promoting this very well right now. And the hype is, maybe the movie might not be that good, but the hype is real with this. And I'll also like that they're releasing this in October, because this looks completely horrifying. So thank you, everybody, for letting me say my piece about this, for letting me just get all my excitement. I want to, you know, call my mama today and tell her all this too. I think she hung up on me halfway through, but I just kept talking. That's why I got to have you here. I need somebody to talk to about all this stuff. That's why I couldn't wait till tomorrow. And I want to pay to. But if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to chime in on with this, please let me know.